with this one. Either way works. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Okay. We're live actually. So how's it going? We have Alex here. People might remember Josh McRae. Alex, you guys are boyfriend, girlfriend, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's up, guys?
Right. Yeah. And it's your birthday. Josh told me. So happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So hopefully we're gonna get you guys. Yeah. Have a good one. Hopefully we'll get you guys back next week or something for a double interview at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That sounds great. We'll have that. Peace, guys. Have fun.
Cool. So Alex, I don't know your type. Are you in the OP class? Do you know a lot about OP? I guess Josh is probably talking your ear off, no?
Yeah, I hear most of it, just talking back and forth with Josh about it. We talk about it a lot. We talk about it much TV. But yeah, I've learned most of it from him.
Right. What about like, do you have a history in typology? Do you know what MBTI is from before, stuff like that?
No, I didn't. I didn't really have any history in it before I met and started dating Josh. And then I kind of picked all of it up from him. That's all the lingo he would talk to me. So I had no choice.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you got a type? Does it make sense to you? Are you guys working through it?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. I work with, I talk to Shan a lot, and she's been helping me because I'm almost her type twin. She's just masculine, sensory, I'm feminine. But she helps me a lot. So she's been helping me work with my type to try to figure my life out.
Right. So you have masculine TE, I guess that's what they gave you? Do you know?
Masculine? No, I have feminine TE. Yeah, I'm double feminine.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. So have you been able to figure out what TE is? Like, are you looking for the validation? Are you looking to help people out, make things work for other people?
Yeah, I've been in healthcare my whole life. So my whole life has kind of been about helping people. I'm definitely seeking validation of some sort, but I like to make people feel good.
Okay. Is making people feel good like the goal, or it's a byproduct?
I would say probably the goal.
Yeah. Are you aware of how, like, are you really aware of how people are feeling, trying to really track their emotional state, the emotional state in the room?
I think that I'm good at it, but I don't think I'm really as good at it as I think I am. I can notice like a shift. I just can't really connect the dots between what the shift means, if that makes sense.
I see. Okay. Are you putting an effort and energy into seeing how people are feeling? Or is that something that you have to, if you care?
If I care about them, and how they feel.
Yeah. So that right there was your masculine FI popping in at the bottom, like if you care about them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if I don't care and you're being all down in the dumps, I mean, I might ask, but maybe not. I don't
know. Do you see yourself as gathering opinions before making a decision from everyone around you, or people that you trust? Do you have people that you trust to gather opinions from?
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever make like a really important decision without consulting somebody first.
Right. So what's that process look like? Like first you consult and then you go and you see how you feel about it? Or you connect to your own values afterwards, or?
Somewhat. Yeah, I guess it depends on how much I trust the first person I asked. Most of the time I think I'll probably ask a few different people, and if they all say the same thing, then I'll be like, cool, sounds like a good decision. And I'll just go with that. But if I trust the first few people I ask, then I'll just be like, okay, how do I feel about that? And then go with my gut, but my gut isn't really that trusting.
So I'm wondering how active versus passive this asking is, right? So like when you ask someone, it's more like talking it out, right? It's not like just, hey, give me an order and I'll follow. It's like, let's discuss it together. Help me.
Because I want to still feel better about it too, because I have a lot of anxiety behind it. So I still have to like you said, like feel good about the decision I'm making, like within myself, because if not, I will drive myself crazy. I'll be like, I don't feel good about this. So
it's like, but like, is the process of talking out, asking questions, maybe challenging the person that you're asking as well, like asking them different cases, things like this?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so then they gave you SE second. Is that like TESE basically? Feminine SE as well? Yeah. So this is something they've been talking about a lot, about the channel changing. Like, do you find that you get bored easy and you need to always keep your mind active and occupied with things?
Yeah, like I can't like sleep without like TV on, something playing in the background. I don't like silence.
Right. Yeah, it's because it's also a feminine SE, so it's even more, yeah. Like that.
Yeah, very feminine. I can't remember anything.
Right.
My memory's terrible.
Oh, okay. What about in terms of being a visual person? Do you see yourself as more visual, more color oriented, things like this? Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been like a visual learner too. So like when I'd be like taking a test, I could see the answer in the textbook. Like when I'm taking the test, I'll like see the answer, like physically see a picture of the answer in the textbook.
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, that's the answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And so you both have, I guess, masculine NI, you and Jay, I guess. Yeah. So like, do you see yourselves a bit conflicting on the NI, on the plan? Like not necessarily fighting, but sort of at odds about the plan? Does that happen between the two of you?
I mean, maybe when I get like fixed on something that I think I know that's going on, but we've kind of come to the conclusion with enough, like, going back and forth and trial and error that I'm not really right most of the time. So I try to take a back seat in that kind of situation and just let him like take the wheel, because like 99 times out of 100, he's right. I maybe have it like one time. So maybe in the beginning it was just because I felt like I was right, but now that I know I'm not right, I'm not really.
Really? Do you still maybe get him to prove it to you, get him to show it to you?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Yeah, I need like that validation that it's still the right decision. But I try to like trust him more instinctually than myself.
Right. So like the track record sort of helps with that, or?
Yeah, for sure. Because I've been that way my whole life, like with my parents and everything. I'm like, I'm right. No, I know I'm right. And I'm like, no, I definitely wasn't right looking back.
And when you say you're right, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean that you're right? Your decision, your conclusion?
Yeah, connecting the dots. Like I always think I know what's like wrong with people, and I'm like so off. And I'm like, no, I was just like deep in thought. I'm like, oh, they're mad at me. And they're like, no, I was just thinking about like what I ate for lunch yesterday. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Was that hard to get to that level of humility of saying, okay, I'm wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely still an ongoing thing. I go through my moments where I'm still masculine. I'm like in the moment, I'm like, no, I'm very right. And it takes me a minute to like remove myself for a few hours and be like, no, I was not right. I was wrong. So yeah.
Okay, so do you see yourself also as play first, like always getting things done? You don't want to wait to do things, just act now, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I see that a lot in like the moment too. Like I want things done in the moment. I don't want to come back to it. I just want to get it done, not deal with it ever again.
Did they give you also blast last? Wow. Okay. All right. So that's a struggle. What is that? Is it like hard to come to conclusions when you're talking, like you're talking in circles, sort of thing?
Yeah, it is. It's hard unless I'm very knowledgeable on what I'm talking about, then I'm kind of more blasty, I guess. But if I'm not, then it's hard for me to like really go on and on about things. I kind of just try to skate on the surface and not go deep. Yeah.
What about in terms of telling people what to do, pushing on people, getting people moving, stuff like that? Is that also something you don't like to do, or you don't feel responsible? You're waiting for someone else to sort of control people?
I'm definitely not controlling. Yeah, definitely not. Not very good at that. It makes me kind of uncomfortable. I'm like,
Right.
mm-hmm.
So like, does that take on more of like a go with the flow type of attitude sort of thing? Like you just, yeah. Do you find that you're maybe creating a void in terms of blast where like other people will step in and sort of take charge often in your life?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I'm working on it more and trying to be more blasty. It's getting started is for sure the hardest for me. I'm just like, if I can get like a template, then I can just go. But like even coming out with like a template of like processing my thoughts is hard.
So the issue with getting started is the template. Once you have a template, you're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can just follow that. Like I will just copy and paste it and be like, okay, today it was this, and then today the next day. It makes it a lot easier for me to like stick with things.
Yeah. Do you have like an example of something like that?
Yeah. There was something that Shan asked me to do to track my track the sensory and like my emotions, I guess. And I was just like terrified. I was like, I don't know how to start this. Like journaling and stuff. I'm just like, I have no idea how to do this. What do I say? What, like, I don't know how to like organize my thoughts. Like what, I just get stuck. And then I had Josh, organizer, help me with just the categories on like, you know, what surfaced, emotions, and then like the result. And then ever since then, I've just been able to like rock with it every day.
Do you find it's a little like easier to communicate with Josh since you guys are using the same functions? Like there's less miscommunication and stuff between the two of you?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It helps a lot.
Okay. So consume is your third animal?
Yeah.
Do you do that as a hobby? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to accomplish other things before you have permission to consume?
No, I lied to you. Consume's my second.
It's my third. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's your second.
Yeah. Sorry. Will you repeat the question for me? I'm sorry.
Do you feel like you need to get the play done before you can do the consume? Like you need to expend the energy before you have permission? Like check things off a list? I don't know.
Maybe before I'm able to like actually calm my energy enough to like sit down and consume. So like I start my day with like the gym. First thing I do when I wake up. So I just have like a lot of energy. To whereas if I'm trying to like sit down and learn something or like consume something, then I can't like I'll just be too fidgety. I just can't sit there long enough to actually retain what I'm trying to.
I'm just someone was asking if the chat can be seen in real time, so that should just prove to him that yes. Yeah. So like it's about energy. It's about you being too energetic to sit down and actually do the consume. You need to like waste the energy somehow. Really?
Yeah, definitely.
So what kind of things would you do to waste energy? Like sports sort of thing, or?
Yeah, so I work out daily. I do a lot of like cardio, lifting. That's pretty much what I do.
Right. And like how like what time of day do you get tired by?
I mean, I guess I get tired just from like lack of sleep around like 4 or 5. But I mean, I go off of like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, so I can stay up pretty late and get up pretty early.
Okay. Do you find also that you're really pingy with people? You're really interactive.
Like throughout the day?
Just I don't know.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, my job requires me to be pretty interactive with people in general. But I would, much rather want to be around people than alone all day long, for sure.
Right. Do you enjoy working with people? Like, do you feel responsible to get everyone on the same page before, like, together? Is that something that you got identified with?
To a certain extent. I mean, I like having people around, but I just don't like it when people bother me when I'm working. I'm just like, if I'm in the middle of something and someone comes up and like, leave me alone. But I like the thought of having people around, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, for example, I've been working
Um,
remotely the past like month because of all the stuff going on, and it's been
right.
I don't want to go back to the office on Monday,
Oh,
but I
really?
have
Okay, yeah.
to. So yeah,
So you don't get that people are draining for you, or are
a
they?
little bit, yeah. Just because I guess I
Yeah.
feel responsible to be like always in like even if I'm not in a good mood, I'll always be like bubbly and happy, and that takes a lot of energy, especially if you're not really feeling it. But like I can't be like even if I'm in like the most terrible mood, like the worst thing happened, I can't like walk around in public or like around people and just be like, I'm sad. Like I just can't do that. So it is draining just because I feel like I have to give them the best part of myself.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay. So is that like is that genuine for you to do that as well? Like is it because like people hearing that might assume that like you're being fake with people, but I guess it's not. It's like a genuine thing to do that.
Yeah, no, I really, it's for everybody else, I guess. Like, I don't want to put my burdens on them. Like, they didn't do anything. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't,
Right.
I'll figure it out and I can figure it out later. So I can genuinely push the emotions away. But once I get by myself again or something, like the emotions will like hit real hard again.
I see. So like that's the sleep, I guess. Like when you're by yourself, you'll reflect on things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, if I'm around like a group of people, I can genuinely like I might have to like force myself to get that initial like jump of like happiness or whatever, bubbliness. But once I get there, I'm genuinely there. Like I'm feeling it for sure. It just takes more energy and more effort to initially get there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take time for yourself to go through and process your emotions, process your values, find out what you're about, what's important to you, prioritize things?
I haven't really in the past. I'm trying to make that part of my
Right.
schedule. Trying to implement it more daily, like with like meditation. I'm not really good with being consistent with it, but I've introduced
Mhm.
it. And then like writing down my thoughts and stuff from the day, or like the things that annoyed me, or just made me feel like a little triggered. So just trying to like process back because it's really hard for me to. It's really hard. Like I don't know what I'm feeling, and then it just frustrates me and makes me really
Yeah.
mad. So
Are you? Do you know what your priorities are? Like, do you have things that are like really important to you?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like principles that you stand by that you wouldn't cross?
Yeah, I guess it just depends. Like, I guess I put mine in like categories. So I have like priorities when it comes to people, when it comes to like responsibilities, hobbies, values.
Hmm.
But I would consider them all different, if that makes sense.
Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah. So like I couldn't really consider like crossing the categories, like what's more important, like your value to yourself or like making your significant other happy. I mean, for me, it's making my significant other happy, but I'm trying to like not like cross those categories because they are both as equal in my mind too, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I know that's kind
Yeah.
of confusing.
No, it's not too confusing. Are there times are there times where you'll stick up for yourself, like where you'll just get pushed too far,
Mhm.
where you need to sort of take a stand, yeah,
Yeah, I have like my
in order
breaking
to
point.
protect
I just have
yourself?
a really long wick.
Right,
So I think I put up with a lot, but once you
right,
get me to that, like once you cross like a boundary, I'm like, I'll let you know. Like I'll bite back real quick.
right.
And then it's like out of nowhere
What
because
kind
I'm
of
like, I was really nice and sweet, and then I'm just like mad, raging.
right, yeah. So what kind of boundaries do you have, sort of thing, that people can cross?
Yeah, I guess just like respect, like a mutual respect, and like if I haven't, if I'm respectful to you, be respectful to me.
Hmm.
Like being mean to people that are defenseless, just those kinds of things, I guess. Or like if I've said
Right.
something like, hey, like this bothers me, like, like obviously anybody can do anything that they want, but if it's a relationship or something, they're like, oh, this bothers me, please don't do it. And then like someone continuously just does it over and like obviously people slip up, but it's like when you can blatantly tell that
Yeah.
they're like, I don't care, then I'm like, okay, that bothers me.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, will you? How will you let them know?
Mhm.
Like, because like the low blast is not letting them know ahead of time,
Yeah,
right?
I don't let them
So
know
you sort of
until
have to let them know retroactively. Yeah.
I'm already like so mad and just emotions blazing at that point. That's what's like, it's not fair because it's like someone deserves a calm, like, hey, like you're crossing the boundary, stop, you know, before it's just like
Right.
10 out of 10. And I go 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to get back to that FI a little bit. Like, do you see that as a major issue, a major struggle for you? Like, are you swinging back and forth, heavy swing sort of thing? Like, yeah.
It's tough for me in the fact of like it being so like low and then double activated and a demon. So my inner world is just like all this like pent up rage, and it's hard. It's hard to, because I feel so real and I feel like so right about things, and like to take a step back and be like, probably not right. And when it feels like so real, it's like it's the most humbling thing, but it's been probably the most rewarding thing too. To like finally be like, when it works, when I actually do it, when I'm able, because I mean, I'm only able to do it probably 3 times out of 10 because I still really suck at it. But when I'm able to, it has like the biggest benefits with like the relationships in my life and all that. But it's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
What about in terms of expressing your values and your boundaries and things like that? Is that something that you're even aware of, that your boundaries are before they've been crossed?
No. They're like, it's just kind of like, and now I'm becoming more aware because I'm seeing them and I'm actually reflecting back on processing things. So I'm like becoming aware of my boundaries, so I can be like, hey, just so you know, like this is a boundary. Please don't do it, before it happens in a calm state, rather than when it's like, oh my gosh, that hurt really bad. Like that must be a boundary, and then freaking out.
Does it feel like the person should already know that that's a boundary?
Yeah, I'm like, how could you not? I expect everybody to think the same way I do. Like the biggest thing with like Josh and I is the misconception between like him being thing dominant and me people dominant. So like when we're in something, he's like, I'm like, oh, you're mad at me. He's like, no, like I don't even care. Like I'm not mad at you. I've never been mad at you. I was irritated with the thing you did. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like I did the thing, therefore you have to be mad at me. Like I did it. It was me. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, even now it's still hard for me to be like I still can't really process that one.
Is that something that you notice in him, like that he's just balanced around people? He's not freaking out about people
so much. Yeah, so much.
To the point that it makes you even nervous that he doesn't care enough to.
Yeah, I'm like, how can you not care? I'm like, they did that thing, and that was a terrible thing to do. And he's like, me. I'm just like, no, they're bad. He's like, me. So I try to ping off of him. I'm trying to learn, because we heard Dave and Shan talk about it. I'm trying to learn to be like, hey, I'm really feeling this way about this person. Is this like valid? Am I being like over in on people? And like most of the time he's like, yeah, I wouldn't think anything that you're thinking about this person. I'm like, okay. Now I have to reel it back in and sit and think. So
good. What about in terms of double observing? Are you able to help Josh back in that way?
Yeah, no, that's one of the ways I'm really glad that we are not similar in, is because it is really helpful to be able to be like, hey, because he's even astonished all the time. He's like, I just like, how can you not freak out about this? I'm just like, not a big deal. Not at all. And then he's the same way with people, and I'm just like, whoa, mind blown.
Right. Yeah, I can see that that's pretty helpful as well. That you're able to give each other like a little assist with that. What I found was interesting, what you said is like you need that, in order to like get started, you need that plan. You need that, and like you have no problem with the TE. Your TE is your savior,
right?
But like it's the NI part of the blast that is missing,
right? For sure, yeah. Because like I said, once I have that, like, I mean, that's the same in like work, in anything. Once I have that initial outline, and like I can run with it.
What about even in terms of pushing on other people? Like once you have a plan, once someone's come up with a plan and the plan's fixed, are you able to push on other people with that plan as well? Is that something that you're more comfortable? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If I just have guidelines to follow, I'm just like, hey, and that actually helps with people because then I can be like, hey, it's not me. I'm just following the rules. You know, like if it's like a work thing, I'm like, I can be in charge of people and do that kind of stuff because I'm like, dude, it's coming from higher up than me. Like I'm just doing my job. So that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that also as like tribal authority sort of thing. Like who is that something you're looking for? Like some kind of authority to take responsibility over decisions? Like you don't want to be the one to be the responsible one over the decisions. Yeah.
But I want to enforce them, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So like as long as you have someone sort of behind you, you have no problem pushing. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything that I'm glossing over about your type a little bit? Something that maybe you want to tell people that are your similar type that you've struggled with, that you're able to overcome?
Yeah. Just like I said, my biggest thing, just because it's so relevant in my life right now, I guess, is just, like I said, that low F and the missing blast. Those things have been really difficult. And for me to actively be thinking about them and still have them be as like, I'm usually the type of person that's like, once I'm aware of something and I know how to like fix it, I can run with it and I can do it. And it's like done in no time at all. And these have been so hard. And I'm like, and I have like an amazing guide when it comes to Shan and trying to figure out exactly what to do and everything. And then I'm still so like lost and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like all of this, like you see it rings so true in so many people. And it's like, yeah, I know I'm just following things that aren't real, but it feels so real. So it's real. Like, so yeah, it's just hard to change that.
Well, it's good at least it's good that you're at least aware that it's not real.
Yeah.
Like it does feel real.
Yeah. It feels so real.
I was wondering also about, does it take you a while to realize if you like something, if you're like, I don't know, maybe you'll be doing something for years, then all of a sudden realize, I don't actually like this. Why am I still doing this?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Cause it'll be like, logically I should like it, or, you know what I mean? Like it fits. Right. So I should just suck it up and work through it, type of mentality. And then I'm just like, and then I like swing so hard because I'm like, I hate everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I'm like, no, I don't hate everything. I hated that one thing. And I just forced myself to do it for way too long.
What are you passionate about? Like, do you have some kind of, is that like a struggle for you to figure out what you actually like, what you actually want to do, what your path actually should be, I guess?
I still don't really know. I mean, I'm finishing I'm 3 classes away from my master's degree in healthcare administration.
Right.
So I know I want to help people. I have always thought it was going to be in healthcare. It's all I've ever worked in. But I don't know. It doesn't make me as like happy, I guess, as it should. But then again, it's also a job. So then I always go back to like the logic thing. Yeah. Like it is a job. Like, yeah, at some level you should enjoy what you're doing, which I do. But it's like, at some point you have to differentiate between like, I want to like what I do and it's work. Like work is work.
Right. Right. Are there cases where it's not work, where you're doing that and there's no, I don't know, you don't realize, or like that you are passionate about something maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I love like the gym and working out, but just because like I can, like it just has so many benefits in like so many areas. Like obviously it makes you healthy physically. For me, it's like a mental thing. Like I mentioned earlier, it helps me release a lot of energy that I have pent up. Like if I don't work out, my body feels very uncomfortable all day. So like I work out mostly 7 days a week. Just because like my body will physically feel like I will feel like I need to jump out of my body. So I have to expend the energy, and I see the mental, physical. I just see so many benefits from it, and I enjoy it most days. Obviously, some days I didn't want to work out yesterday.
So like, are you doing sort of like a fitness thing together with Josh? Because like I know he's got the Jay McRae Fitness.
Yeah, we work out together.
Like a bodybuilder. Yeah.
But I did it before I met him. I've always been I've been an athlete my whole life. So I've always been very passionate about like fitness, working out, staying fit.
Okay. Is there anything you want to promote or a final message maybe that you want to say to people?
It gets better. No, this stuff is so knowledgeable, or it's so beneficial, and just like knowing it, I've been able to recognize it within like myself, and then other people, and then understanding it without even anybody else acknowledging it, which is a big thing for me. So it's like to understand, like, no, they're not out to get me. Like, it's just helped me in so many areas to just be more cognizant of like others, and then myself tied in. And it's improved all my relationships. It's improved the way I think about myself. So it's like a Bible.
Can you expand a little bit on "they're not out to get me"? What that means, like how that's happened to you in the past?
Yeah, I always somehow play like the victim mentality, which is like very hard for me to even admit, especially on air. But like somehow I always tend to make myself the victim. And it's like, and then I don't realize how I'm being so like cold and mean and heartless, because I'm just like, no, it's all about me. It's all about my emotions. Like, you're making me feel really bad. And then it's like, I mean, and this probably happened like last week. I was like, oh my gosh, like I am so cold to people when I feel hurt, because I don't care about their emotions. I'm like, I don't care. Like, you hurt my feelings. Like, I don't care. And that's not okay.
That's the only thing that matters. Like, at that moment, your feelings is the only thing that matters. It's
the only thing
that's real. Yeah.
And like, you wronged me, so I'm gonna make you pay, type of thing. But then now coming back to that realization, so now I feel like that felt terrible to realize. I'm like, I'm making people feel terrible, and then so
Well, also when you go into those swings, then like you have to apologize after. Like, once you finally calm down, you're like, oh wow, I did that.
Yeah. I'm like, that was terrible. Like, I probably would never speak to that person if they made me feel that way. You know?
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, awesome. Really great meeting you, and I look forward to discussing a little bit with Josh as well. If you guys are into it. Yeah.
We're so down next week for sure.
Cool. Is Josh still around? Like, stick around. We'll chat.
No, he actually is on another call.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just say bye to YouTube and have a good one, everyone.
Bye.